One of the most overlooked ideas in Watch Dogs is how the Fixer network quietly reveals that the criminal underworld was already fully digitized long before Aiden Pearce ever touched ctOS. The game frames hacking as something revolutionary, but the truth is that organized crime had already adapted to the digital age, just without the spotlight. Fixers operate through burner phones, encrypted contracts, and reputation-based hit jobs, turning murder, intimidation, and surveillance into a gig economy. This system isn't chaotic or improvised. It's structured, scalable, and disturbingly efficient. Fixer contracts aren't about random violence. They're precision tools used to maintain balance between criminal factions, corrupt officials, and corporate interests. Targets are selected based on risk, exposure, and usefulness, not morality. A snitch isn't killed because of betrayal alone, but because their continued existence creates data instability. Someone asking the wrong questions becomes a liability node in the network. This turns people into variables, mirroring how ctOS treats citizens, just without the public-facing justification of safety. What makes this system especially unsettling is how invisible it is to the wider world. Fixers don't rely on flashy crimes or public chaos. Their work is quiet, clean, and often mistaken for random incidents. A hit looks like an accident. A disappearance looks voluntary. This keeps law enforcement reactive instead of proactive, chasing outcomes rather than causes. It's no coincidence that ctOS struggles to fully suppress Fixer activity. The system was designed to predict crime patterns, not freelance professionals who constantly adapt their methods. Aiden's involvement in Fixer contracts adds another layer of irony. While he positions himself as someone dismantling corrupt systems, he actively participates in one of the most morally hollow economies in the game. Completing contracts rewards him with money and reputation, reinforcing the idea that efficiency matters more than intent. The game never forces Aiden to question who issued the contract or what long-term damage it causes. That silence is important. It shows how easily vigilantism slips into professionalized violence when it's gamified and streamlined. The Fixer network also exposes a hard truth about power in Watch Dogs. Control doesn't always come from surveillance or infrastructure. Sometimes it comes from knowing who to remove and when. Fixers don't need citywide access or predictive algorithms. They rely on human intelligence, digital communication, and trust built through fear. In many ways, they're more flexible than ctOS because they don't answer to shareholders, public opinion, or legal oversight. By placing Fixers alongside hackers, Watch Dogs quietly argues that technology doesn't create new evils. It refines old ones. Organized crime didn't disappear in the digital age. It upgraded. Contracts replaced face-to-face meetings. Reputation replaced loyalty. Anonymity replaced accountability. And because this system operates in the shadows, it rarely draws the same scrutiny as ctOS, even though the damage it causes is just as permanent. In the end, the Fixer network shows that Watch Dogs isn't just about hacking systems. It's about how modern violence becomes efficient, remote, and transactional. When murder is reduced to a notification and a payout, morality becomes optional. And that's the real danger the game hints at. Not the machines watching everyone, but the humans who learned how to kill without ever being seen.